back to Classic City Locks. Apologies on the delay. The Georgia game just hurt us so bad. um,
It's all Mike's fault. He was the one. Blame him. He couldn't record for 2 weeks.
yeah, Wes decided to skip over to Europe because he was so upset, and then I had some work trip stuff. Whatever. We're back. I'm gonna go through recap 2 weeks, or I guess three, counting the one. Yeah, technically three. Okay, so jumping straight into our mid-major teams, mid Power Four teams we were talking about, things are not looking great for us. I'll start off with mine. Missouri, they got slaughtered by Wes's Aggies, but then they bounced back with a win over UMass. Not sure why they even have a home and home with them. They're 5-1. They need five more wins.
Is this correct that they're only 5-1? They are the most overrated 5-1 team. I think they're like, how have they not
No,
lost another game?
45-3. That's good bounce back. Uh, UNC has done the opposite of bounce back. They were 3-0 when we last checked in. They've lost
They
four games
lost to
straight.
Tech.
They suck, dude. They've lost four. They lost 41-34 to Tech. They are 5 games below their win total of 7.5.
Gun to my head, I could not name a single North Carolina player.
Neither. Arizona lost to BYU. They are 3-3. They need five more.
Also fraudulent.
Yeah, they unfortunately Fafita is about all that team has. In Washington, they beat Michigan, which I just thought of this. That was a rematch of the Natty, and nobody even came.
Yep.
But they lost to Iowa. They are 4-3. They need three more to get over their 6.5. So
Is
still a little hope there.
I know I've been a little out of touch not having been able to watch games, but Iowa scored 40 points against Washington.
They have an offense. Who
Oh,
would have thunk it?
dang. That's crazy. Well, my teams, on the other hand, are doing phenomenal. I couldn't be
Mhm.
more proud. My Texas A&M Aggies slaughtering Mike's Missouri Tigers. But Virginia Tech, I think the other three teams are maybe some of these were all on byes last week, but the week that we missed, Virginia Tech beat Stanford. West Virginia actually has played 2 games. They lost in close ones and lost to number 10, top 10 or top 11, Iowa State.
Yeah.
So that's an expected loss there. So no hard feelings. Wisconsin carrying the load though for my guys, beating Rutgers 42-7. The record's 4-2, and they only need 3 more wins this season
Good
to
one.
get me over that total.
Yeah, there's a lot happening right now. Rutgers getting their what's that? Their first loss, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Getting smacked. Getting into the pick'em recap. It's a shame we haven't recorded recently, folks, because I am on a tear. Week 5, I came in first, went 14-5. West coming in third, 11-8. Week 6, I got fourth, 9-8. West 16th, 7-10. Then week 7, I got second, 10-7. West ninth, 7-10. I have moved to 69 and 67, 50.7% correct on the season. West dips below 50, 66 and 70, 48%. What do you have
You
to
know
say
what?
for yourself?
You know what they say, all we needed is the show back, and now Mike will immediately plummet back into last place.
You never know. Maybe that break is what I needed. But yeah, like we said, don't want to beat a dead horse. We've been gone for a bit. There's a lot that happened. Vandy, are they legit?
They're better than 3 or 4 teams in the SEC, which you can hardly ever say
They are
any
four
year
and two. They knocked off Bama in a game where they controlled it. They looked good.
from the get-go. Yeah.
They played a complete game, and they are like 2 plays away from being 6-0. They lost to Missouri by one touchdown. This is
And I
crazy.
think their win total was like 3.5. They already covered it through six
Nuts.
games.
Nuts.
Crazy.
Never thought I would see that much life out of Vandy. They tore the goalpost down. Crazy.
Oh, I loved
Um,
seeing that. Yeah.
South Carolina, heartbreak. We know some of y'all, some of our good friends went there. Getting the onside kick and then forgetting how to play football and just completely collapsing. Very, very Gamecocks-esque, but they dropped to Bama 27 to
It
25.
it it's been a heartbreaking season for the Gamecocks, if I do say so myself. I mean, they've had so many close big games that
Yeah.
they just haven't capitalized in the last minutes. But
Yeah, and then we got the Red River rivalry. Texas just absolutely smacked Oklahoma. That Texas offense is still rolling. They have not let their foot off the gas.
Yeah, and I love about that is this has turned into probably one of the best SEC championship races
Oh
in
yeah,
recent season. I mean, it's kind of anybody's game. You got Texas obviously is the favorite, but who knows if Georgia pulls off an upset this week? Then Texas A&M is still in
yeah,
first
for real.
place,
Both
undefeated in conference play. Same thing with LSU, I believe.
both Texas and A&M are favored to win the rest of their games, and they're having that they're rekindled that rivalry. We could have like a championship implication game between them later in
That
this.
would be
But
nuts.
there's a lot of ball left to be played. We know Texas A&M can't finish anything, so
Whoa, whoa, that's my team.
and then another just instant classic, Ohio State, Oregon. Holy cow, lived up to all the expectations. Ryan Day can't win a big game to save his life, though. Can't. And Will Howard, what was he thinking?
Oh my
What was
God,
he
dude.
thinking?
Just go
That's
down. I don't know how, I mean, it's just so there's so much stuff going through his head in that moment, reading routes, adjusting audibles, everything, but you got to have some kind of notion of how close to the time limit you are. And,
yeah.
if you're going to go down, take like sliding, just slide way earlier, in my
Don't
opinion.
run on 3rd and 20 and like actually hoof it. You got to like get down. But also kudos to Dan Lanning. I mean, they're investigating what he did to see if they need to
They
change
changed the
the rules.
rule. They changed it already.
Yeah, for those of y'all that don't know, he intentionally, when there were like 17, 16 seconds left, put 12 guys on the field to prevent a deep play
And
that
got
lost
5 seconds
5 yards,
of
but it
clock
took five
off.
seconds. Yeah, crazy. So that's genius. Hey, that's using the rules to your advantage. Um,
And I would like to say, we're critical of Will Howard as a very big armchair quarterbacks right here, but Ohio State, man, that's just a tough loss for
yeah,
them. Still a very good team, probably in the Big Ten championship and in the
for
playoff.
sure. They're still very much in the hunt for the Big Ten and the Natty for sure. But yeah, some crazy stuff going on. Like Wes said, we got a lot of conference championships heating up. SEC is going to be crazy, especially with this new format, no East and West. It's
Big
turned into like
12.
a Hunger Games game, a season for the SEC.
It is. There are like 12 tributes, and some of them are way more favored than others, but it's pretty fair, level playing field. So
Yeah. And we talked about how big this past weekend was, but we have some crazy games this coming week too. We touched on it a little bit, but UGA, the Dogs going on the road to play Texas. This is like the first time Georgia's been the underdog in a while. This is gonna be a crazy, crazy game. I'll just give my first thought on this. Obviously, Texas is favored, and I think that they should be. They haven't really shown us anything to give us a reason to think that they shouldn't be, especially being at home. The one question mark I will say, obviously I'm a little biased. I don't know that Texas has faced an offense that is that good. Georgia's defense is really questionable this season. This is not what the Natty defenses were. But
yeah.
who has Texas played that has a potent offense? Like they played a Michigan team that is trash. I really don't know who else. We saw them struggle against Mississippi State as well.
I will say that pessimistic UGA fan Wes has returned. We had a great run, folks, but I think it's been a little short-lived, and hopefully I'm just jinxing it for us, but I don't think this is our year. And I think Texas just slaughters us in this one, unfortunately. But I will be cheering for the Dogs like the rest of us, but I do not have high hopes for this one.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I could pick this one. I mean, I don't think I could remove my bias from this because in my heart of hearts, I feel like we get a shootout. I think that we get to see. I just can't count Kirby out. I feel like there's the injury report, preliminary one came out today, and it looks a lot better than I thought it would be. Like you have guys that Ratledge who could potentially play, which would be huge for Georgia. They can tighten up where the injuries were, and if the offense can click like it did against Mississippi State, because the offense was pretty solid. Carson passed for 5 million yards to the air. Just it's going to be a big test to see if Texas's offense, or if our offense can go up against them and really go to work.
Feels a
That'll be where the game
lot
will be won or lost.
feels a lot like 2019 LSU UGA, Mike. That's all I
Give me
gotta
a
say.
break. That don't even. That's like one of the best teams ever.
Well, you thought we had a chance in that one too, so
And
I don't know. I'm
another
just
big
giving you a
one,
hard time.
Alabama going on the road to play Tennessee. Um, Alabama, what do we make of this team right now?
I don't know. I mean, but what do you make of Tennessee on the other hand too? They should have lost to Florida last week.
Well,
Florida had any red zone capability,
in
but
our pick'em group, I was the only one to take Florida, and the reason I did, hindsight's 2020, but the reason I did it was because we saw it feels like a copy of what Tennessee has done in recent years. They just absolutely decimate bottom feeder teams in the start of the season, and everyone's like, they're winning the Natty. It feels like 98. And then the moment they come up against like a decent team, whoa, pump the brakes.
I,
Um,
I will say Josh Pate had some stat that was like Tennessee out of conference play. They scored 70, 60, 70 in
yeah,
conference, like 20, 17, 17. Like it's been a rude awakening for them so far.
yeah. So this is gonna be an interesting one. I really don't know what to make of them right now because their offense doesn't look that great again in legit games.
Their defense has been pretty solid,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think Alabama maybe figures some things out here, and I like them at Tennessee. I don't trust Tennessee's offense at the moment, and I
Mhm.
think Bama has showed spurts where they've been unstoppable. So
Yeah, yeah. It Alabama feels like which team are you going to get this season? You never know. But that should be a really good one. I would lean towards Alabama in this one, but I would not be surprised either way. And then another one, which I haven't really looked much into the statistics on, Michigan's going to Illinois. I think Michigan's favored in this one. Um,
it's crazy.
Illinois was beating Purdue like 20 to 24 nothing, and then they ended up winning 50 to 49 in overtime. So that was a wake up call for Bielema's squad there. It might have just been a hiccup game. I don't know. I got to lean towards the Fighting Illini here at home, man.
Yeah, I don't have a beat on this one, but I would also lean Illinois just because I don't trust Michigan. I think really the Wolverines being rated still is kind of a joke after what losing to unranked Washington, but I don't know. You got they're the previous national champion, but it's been a rough ride for them as it probably has been for any
I mean, you look at
national champion the year after.
Michigan is 4-2. They lost to Texas 31 to 12. They let Arkansas State score 18. They beat USC by 3. They beat Minnesota by 3, and they lost by 10 to Washington. Uh, I don't know why they're giving them points here on the road. I don't think that they've shown us anything really. I mean, they have a bye week to prepare, but I'm going to lean towards Illinois here.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I agree. Two other ones that I would touch on. West Special. I think Purdue is going to give Oregon fits just because it's
Oh,
a
oh, of
Friday game
course.
after a tough sledding matchup. Oregon in very much a letdown spot here. And I don't mean Purdue's going to win, but 27.5. I like Purdue to cover that.
I
Um,
agree completely. Purdue loves to play spoiler when it comes to football, especially you have a high ranking. Buckle up when you're playing Purdue.
Yeah. And then Miami goes into Louisville and is only a 4.5 point favorite, which is crazy. I mean, Miami has just barely escaped, probably shouldn't have escaped some rules, questionable
Yeah.
officiating in two games. And Louisville has been kind of bad lately. I mean, but I like Louisville in this one. Uh, I think Cam Ward probably will just blow the top off the game, but I think that Louisville's secondary will be a little bit tougher on him because he kind of is very hot and cold. So,
hmm
like the
Yeah.
Cards in that one.
We've seen Miami play some really close ones for sure. I would lean towards them here just because I don't think that Louisville really has any crazy wins to make me. I mean, they played Notre Dame within one score and stuff, but I don't know. Miami's hot and cold, and I think that we're gonna after uh, two of these close games, I still feel like Cam Ward is a very capable quarterback. I feel like they're a pretty solid team, so I'm gonna stick with them in this one.
Well, there you have it. Kind of our week breakdown, a long recap from our extended slumber.
Yeah, yeah.
But hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I think we got another good week of college football as we always do.
hmm
But maybe one week we'll have a sleeper and nobody will care. But until next time, thank y'all for tuning in and let's go watch some football.